Hello there, this is Will from Stacks for Stacks, and today I'm putting together a short video about the recently updated Gateway stack. This is the website for Gateway. Feel free to pop along and take a look. It is stacksforstacks.com/gateway. On here we've got a lot of information about the Gateway stack, what it can do, what it can be used for. There's a free demo version you can download and install on your computer to evaluate Gateway. There's a lot of information here about the setup of Gateway, and we also discuss some of the more technical aspects of Gateway as well. So plenty of information on here, so do come along and take a look if you're interested in this stack. Gateway 2.0 or 2.0 is a free update for all existing users. So if you already own the Gateway stack, you can obtain the update either through automatic updates in the Stacks plugin itself within RapidWeaver, or you can use the download link on the email you were sent when you originally purchased Gateway. Either of those methods can be used to get this latest version. An effort has been made to make this update as non-destructive as possible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump straight into RapidWeaver. I've already gone ahead and set up a very quick example project here. This is just a single page called Homepage. I'm using my new Longitude RapidWeaver theme, which is currently in development. And this is a relatively standard setup, so we've got a banner area at the top here, navigation bar, got some content boxes, more content boxes at the bottom here, and a footer. So very simple standard setup. I'll switch into edit mode, open the Stacks library, and I'm just going to search for Gateway. I'm going to drag a copy of Gateway into the page. And this is what you'll initially see when you add a Gateway stack to your page. You'll just see a grey box that says drop stacks here. Now with regards to new features and settings in Gateway 2, we've got new behavioural settings which I'll explain in detail in a minute, which are brand new and get shown at the top here. The rest of the settings are pretty much the same, although I have changed the order in which some of them are shown. Some of them have received new labels, new tooltips, and I've grouped a few of them a bit better than before, so the stack is a bit more fluid and easier to use. We've got new colour settings here as well for things like headings and links of content you actually place within your Gateway stack. And the close button has been overhauled slightly. Previously we used to just have an image well here where you could drag and drop an image in, but a lot of users wanted to see support for Retina ready images or other content to form a close button. So that's the main change that's happened in this area. Other than that, most other things like link settings are all exactly the same as before, so there's not a great deal of changes really on the surface here with regards to settings. I'll go ahead and just create a quick example for you. So I'm going to start by just adding a 2-column stack into Gateway. We'll put in HTML stacks, and then I have got on my other screen here, I've got some example code and content here which I'm just going to paste straight in. So we'll pretend in this example that we're coding and building into our website a method for customers to subscribe to a free email newsletter. So typically the sort of thing you'd set up with a service like MailChimp or Constant Contact, or a sort of an email subscription provider like that. So fairly simple stuff. Services like Constant Contact and MailChimp do provide you with code snippets to create these sign-up forms, so pretty much you can just take the code and paste it straight in. And if I preview the page now, what you'll see at the top now is a nice little pop-up that appears, and this is the Gateway stack. So in this instance we'd just go ahead and add in a name and an email address and click the subscribe button. I have made a little modification to this code in that I've added a class of Gateway close to the subscribe button. I'm not sure if you can see that very clearly in the video, and that just means that when somebody goes ahead and fills out our email subscription form, when we click the subscribe button, Gateway stack closes automatically like that. And I'm thinking quite a few instances that would be the desired functionality you'd expect to find. Behaviour is the first setting listed. It's a little drop down menu, and with behaviour what we're doing now is we're customising how the Gateway stack is opened and closed. Traditionally, as I've shown in the example, when you preview your page or you go to a website, the gateway stack appears automatically and it closes when you click on a button or a close button. I mean, I'll just go ahead and just as an example, I will turn on the close button just so we can see what this looks like. So ordinarily a visitor would go to a website like this, they'd see the pop-up, they can either engage with the pop-up or they can click on the close button like this, and that puts the gateway stack out of the way. But we've had feature requests over the past couple of months and people wanted to see different methods to display and hide the gateway stack, and that's something very much that this update focuses around. So we've got the new behavior drop down menu here, and if I change it to display on page scroll, for example, we've got an option here that says scroll distance, and we've got a default value of 500 pixels. So this means when I go to the website, nothing's shown. You can see now there's no gateway stack at the top of the page. But as I start to scroll down the page with my mouse, what you'll notice is that the gateway stack displays after you scroll down 500 pixels. Now I should point out as well quickly then that we have still got a delay here of 2 seconds or 2000 milliseconds before the pop-up will display. So I'm just going to set that to 0, like so. So when I run the example again this time, you should find it's a bit more snappier. There it goes, see, straight away. So there's not that 2-second delay. So that's one method you can trigger a gateway stack now, is by actually scrolling down the page, and you can customize here how far a user has to scroll down the page before the pop-up will be displayed. So like I said, the default is 500 pixels, but we could easily put that up to 1,000 pixels, like so, which would mean that a user has to scroll down a little bit further than previously, like so, almost at the bottom of the page there. And even though I'm scrolling up and down the page now, the gateway stack is remaining on the page. It's not sort of flashing in and out of focus, it's always there. The other option we've got is display at page end. There's no height setting for this one, you just enable the setting. So again, I've gone and I've previewed the page. I could pretend I'm a visitor to your website now, I've just landed on this lovely website. And there's no gateway stack displaying at the moment, there's no pop-up at the top here. But as I scroll down, and when I get right to the bottom, there it comes. So this pop-up now displays only when I'm right at the bottom of the page. And this would be a really nice way to display perhaps links to other projects or products, anything like that. So once you know a customer has scrolled to the end of a web page, at this point you could then display some other information for them to click onto. The other behaviour we've got is to hide automatically. The default value for the timeout on this is 5,000 milliseconds or 5 seconds. So I'll just put that up to 10,000, so do 10 and 1, 2, 3 zeros like so. I'll preview the page. So the gateway stack will be displayed instantly at the top now, but if we leave it for 10 seconds, what you'll see is that the pop-up will hide itself automatically after 10 seconds. Like so, there it goes. So that's just done it all on its own. I've not had to click or touch anything. I don't quite know the usefulness of this particular one, because there is a slight design flaw in that some people will be quite slow at reading and might not be able to read this whole message before it disappears off the screen. So I'm not quite sure of how relevant this one will be in a lot of projects, but just for completeness I've added it in, so it's there if you want to use it. The final behaviour is to hide on page scroll, and again we've got this option to set a scroll distance, so I'm just going to change that to 600 pixels. Click on preview. So our pop-up is there at the top of the page. This is the gateway stack, and what you'll notice now is that as I start to scroll the page down, it disappears, and again if I scroll up, it's not there, it's gone. I'm actually using the gateway stack now on the home page of the Stacks for Stacks website. I'll just switch back. So we can see we've got now a message at the bottom here about cookies, which I've set up. And this is a real world example, so if you come to my website the first time you'll see this. But I've set it up so that as I start to scroll the page down, the message disappears. And this is a prime example of how you can use the new gateway stack. So this example hopefully has given you a nice little illustration of how the gateway stack works and how to set it up. There's a lot of settings here to customize the position of it. So for example, we could choose to have gateway at the bottom. Let's just put back to the defaults. So our gateway stack is now at the bottom of the screen, but equally so, you know, I could come in and I could say, well, I want it 30% from the bottom of the screen. So preview that, and there you can see it's sort of halfway across the middle of the screen now. The window shade options still exist, so we can display a window shade behind our pop-up, like so. So it's a bit more like a modal window or light box. Click the close button, it all just vanishes out of sight, so it's nice and user friendly from that respect. I think you'll agree from this little video and certainly from the feature set that Gateway is by far one of the most customizable and comprehensive pop-up stacks of its type available. We've listened very carefully to what users want. We've actioned a lot of feature requests and incorporated a lot of additional functionality into this version 2. It's certainly a very popular stack at the moment, and I think that all these new features we've added to Gateway will make it even more popular and desirable to use. So I hope this is of interest to you, this little video. Certainly if you've got any further questions, then do feel free to contact me. Just come to the Stacks for Stacks website, click on the contact link here and just send me an email.